Good night. This is a video message for the Pope. My voice is because it is kind of early. Normally I wear glasses, but I'm just only looking at a tiny black hole with a green dot next to it. And extremely hot. I'm sorry, probably, I'm going to make you confused by taking off my clothes. My name is Eva Keeris. I was born on the 7th of August 1979 in the little village of Geldrop at 2012. 2012. 12 minutes past 8 in the evening. I am sending you this message at 3:30 in the night because I receive great inspiration, and we say that God works in mysterious ways. So you know that sometimes at 3:30 in the morning you receive inspiration. I see what you are doing, and I am extremely grateful for the work that you are doing. From my point of view, and I would like to remind you that my name is Eva, I come to, let's say, a different understanding of what is happening right now in the world, in your own cluster of men. In your own thinking and in your own feeling. It might be is that I'm going to use a pen to explain what I want to explain to you. Last Sunday, you have spoken to the world through a conference. And what I have heard, well, I'm starting to get emotional, starting to feel my feelings. What I have heard, what you said, for the first time in thousands of years, you have stopped to project your shadow, or in your language it's called a devil, onto the other half of the population, onto the female parts of our human family. Remind you, my name is Eva. So I've heard you say, well, to be perfectly frank, I've read it in a news article in the New York Times, that what happened in the church is the work of the devil, and it needs to be punished. I would like to make a suggestion to what you have shared with the world. I think it's true that it is the work of the devil, what happened in your male cluster, in your male grid. To me, it feels that you are, retreating your shadow projection into your own polarity. So actually you say, the devil has infiltrated the church, has infiltrated our community. I am not agreeing that you need to punish it. As my name is Eva, I am familiar with receiving your devil projection, your shadow projection onto me. It happened with a beautiful story that is written in your holy scriptures about me eating an apple. This day, so it was this at let's say 5:05, that is 17:30. I came back into this world because I was in Italy, in a different place that is not totally of this world. It's inside of it, but not of it. It's a different place. I've done a great work there, inspired by God, though I know her in a different fashion. I'm staring into a black hole with a tiny green dot next to it. It's probably better if they would make it a white dot. When I returned my car to the car rental, I had to make a signature. And the man who was receiving my car, I was making a signature on a device, a technological device that also carries the projection of a big part of me, that is of the power of my own consciousness. And I made a signature and I spoke, I blurted out, that is not really a Picasso. And, I thought it was kind of funny. And this man, I will honor him, he laughed at me. So we made real human contact with each other. I said, probably you have heard this joke 1,000 times. He said, no, I hear it for the first time, and I like it. So my name is Eva. I like to be the first woman, and the first one who makes this joke. I think it's a quality you recognize from your father, who enjoys creating things for the first time, because he doesn't like to copy it. Every creation is a new, alive creation. He said, that is so coincidentally, accidentally, bizarre, toevallig, because I was thinking about Eva today. I said, well, explain it to me. He said, listen, I am a butterfly watcher. That's a cue for a person who loves life. And he said, I was in a park and I watched butterflies and I enjoyed it so tremendously. And I thought, they are so diverse. How did God create this enormous diversity? And then he switched, he's like a real philosopher. He switched onto our human species. It's like, oh my God, we are so incredibly diverse. When did that start? And he was given a big inspiration, because then he realized that it was Eva who ate from an apple, and that was the creation of the diversity of life. And I said to him, thank you so much for sharing this story. I would like to add another piece of it. Last Sunday, the Pope in Italy has addressed the globe by stating that this story that received always the projection of the devil onto women, that something changed. So, or it was not the work of the devil, or the devil started the diversity of life, and it was not a devilish act. My dear Pope, what I see that you have been doing is a highly esoteric action. And we have been preparing for this action that you took last Sunday for thousands of years. And I'm so grateful that last Sunday you created the initiative for a new universe, for a new myth, for a new, alive mystery, and it is being unfolded. Consider it done. Your message is heard. I'm going to take a paper and draw one of the most easiest and simplest and complex, because God works in mysterious ways, but I'm going to explain it to you. I'm starting by drawing our sign for the feminine quality, the feminine face of God. And it has been projected onto the half of the population. Sometimes you kiss their feet, which you make me really happy. I'm starting to tremble a lot. I'm giving you the combination. I'm starting to really tremble. To me, it means that a magical operation is starting, which is of a nuclear kind. I'm explaining to you how, and I don't know the correct English word, nuclear splitting works. Because you need to have two particles. Your particle is slightly off-grid. So what you did, because your particle is pointing actually, it was also always pointing at us. You have ended that pointing. What I have done in my work the last couple of days is accepting your realignment. So this must disappear. Then we turn it slightly. It's like a magnetic pole shift. There is a plus and a minus. It's a polarity. We also know it in the sign of the yin-yang. What you have been doing right now by stating that you need punishment is you are casting your shadow out. That is not the place foreshadow. It's not the natural order of things. Your Son, Jesus, taught. Love thy neighbor like thy love thyself. Even if your neighbor is a rapist, a pillager, he murders children, if he sexually abuses them without their consent, if he is using his powers upon our children, my children, if he takes joy in killing them in rituals, if he slices their bodies and eats them, or does whatever the ritual, the content of the rituals are, love him, for he loves it himself, because that is the vibration of his frequency. And God, Source, enjoys when there is joy in the world. We, Elohim, we couldn't care less what you planned to do with our creation for you, because we take pleasure in your pleasure. That was how we designed it. The rainbow children have entered the game simulation again, and we are here to teach you about the nuclear reaction to fuse particles. Instead of projecting the polarity outside, we hope that you come to take it in your inner world, in your within world. Before you can truly become a master of this technology, therefore you need to become the alpha and omega point yourself. You have to integrate your whole spectrum of polarities within your own being. And yes, that's not only in this life. We, as nuclear particles, God particles, we have entered this game simulation for the mere pleasure of experiencing joy and blissfulness on whatever frequency we could do that. Yes, we learn from it because we can grow through eating from the tree of life and the tree of knowledge of good and evil, of what we prefer to do. And in our nature, because that is how we are created. We are designed by divinities, like a human chimera. In our nature, we take pleasure when the whole grows from it, for the well-being of all sentient beings. We have been playing this game, this creation, for a very long time. And our Akasha records are kind of full. We have done every part of this game. We have experienced everything. We were the perpetrator, we were the victim, we were the person who, accused. We projected every vibration, every frequency, every thought onto each other. We did everything. and we are bored with it. We got the t-shirt. A brilliant man told me today. We wore it out. We cut it into pieces and use it as a duster. And please, we're ready for the next game cycle. So, what I would like to suggest is that you start to love thy neighbor like thy love thyself. That you start to understand what Jesus meant when he said, honor thy father and thy mother. We are not 3D thingies. And the holy matrimony between a man and a female, a man and a woman, is not a 3D printing technology. We are nuclear reactors. When you think of it, when as you see my body, is composed of I don't know how many particles. My father and mother in flesh, they found each other, were inspired by this most brilliant process of creation, where their bodies created one single particle, where everything that they have is inside of it, as a seed, as a promise. And these two particles, they met. They did not split, they fused. In the container of the female body, you could also call it a grail, this nuclear fusion creates a magnetic current and it attracts all the particles to grow a new nuclear reactor, a whole. And if you look for the consciousness, if you look for the parts that create soul, and you slice it up to find it, you are making it into a, well, let's call it a nuclear splitting technology again. God did not design for splitting and slicing. It is to become a whole. So life and evolution is, also really stubborn, because every time it prints a new nuclear device in its wholeness. When you understand your fleshly source, you become really silent about that, because it's truly, truly a miracle. Years ago, when I received a really clear calling, an inspiration, I was asked with a voice deep inside of me, my daughter, will you please bring my people home? And I was, listen, you have got like the wrong person. You should ask Moses, or you should ask Jesus, or for that matter, but I'm not really too schooled in that, the other prophet. You are asking me? I'm the one who cast us out from home. And I remember the feeling again, because I long for home. The other day I realized I was making a fundamental thinking flaw, and that is that, imagine if I could return home, and I have homesickness a lot. Imagine if I would go home. I'm doing like an Einstein thought experiment. And I would knock on the door. There is nobody home, because everybody came out to play. So my home truly is here in the universe. Nietzsche taught me, God is dead. Oh, I receive a fascinating insight right now. So God was the first nuclear splitting experiment. So yes, God is dead. We bring the technology to bring God alive again, to do the fusion, but not on the point of singularity anymore. We are asking you to truly awake as the God being that you are. I think I come to the end of my video message for the Pope. I've read on the Wikipedia, because that is where I play my mystery game. I play it projected onto the media landscape. So I've learned so much from the Wachowskis. Sense8, The Matrix. Let's make a new movie of this. I was truly kissed awake by travelers. Thank you for adding your frequency and your code onto our media landscape. Through so many pieces, I was able to retrieve all my sliced pieces and to understand that my lineage is not of this earth. So many people who I address right now that are listening to this message, because it's not only for the Pope, and it's not only for the man, and it's not only for the women. Right now on the earth, a lot of star seeds entered the game simulation. I welcome you. I see you. We did a fantastic game 1. The mechanics of game 1 are hide and seek. It was not an easy game. Thank you. We are star seeds. A star is a nuclear reactor. And that's why we have entered this matrix, this Gaia-Matrix. Our beloved planet dreamed a new dream because she really wants to grow up and become a star herself. I hear a star. She went through the phase of the ego star. Joseph Campbell explained it to us in the Reis van de Held, the hero with 1,000 faces, the journey of the hero. So we went through this big ego phase. Right now we are gaming the end game, where we go through the underworld. So many of the star seeds have retrieved their frequency that they can add onto the Gaia-Matrix, so that we, as star seeds, as nuclear devices, can help her as a conscious being to move on to her next step. She's going to become truly a star. When I am giving you a new game mechanic, a new game design, my frequency, my lineage. So I live in a human body, but I'm not of this earth. My lineage lies in Sirius. This border, this ring, this form, holds the frequency of Isis. Matter. We are living inside, I call it, of a mom brain, not a membrane. Brain refers to brain, mind, spirit, geest. It's of matter, of mom. We are living inside of this beautiful nuclear splitting and then returning back to totality, to wholeness. I forgot my line of reasoning, so I should breathe and come to the line of feeling. It means that I am a Kundalini technologist, and I'm also a game maker. The last couple of days, I have changed the game engine. I have adapted, adjusted, or updated the simulation that is being, operating on the Gaia grid. Moses added 15 game rules, 15 game mechanics is the story. He, I don't know, for some reason left 5 out. Probably you've seen the cartoons. Creation is like this. It starts with this miracle. Then we grow 1 bone, 2 bones, into many bones. The Tao Te Ching wrote about it. So Moses was on the level of creation. He created the lower mind of man. He created laws that we could apply, if this then that. But he also created the possibility to do a lot of things. Jesus gave 2 important game rules. He created, I call it the quantum mind, the higher mind of man. He added that onto the layer. It's the knowledge of the heart. That is a binary quality. So when you are inside of your head and you don't know, breathe, enter your heart. And feel if you want to move forward to it, plus, or move back from it, minus. Life is really that simple. I am adding 1 new game rule as an extra layer to understand the mysterious ways that God works in. And that is, every child that is born into the world of forms has the right for the first period in life to receive all that is needed. This is a technological game rule. For being a nuclear reactor, you have to get on your first magnetic spin. You have to learn how the poles of the father and the mother, of the internal polarity between your shadow part, your lower vibrations, and your higher part, your lighter vibrations. So let's call it the black light and the high light. You need to have the time to figure that out, to see the examples in your neighborhood. And the only way a child can do that is because it gets nurtured in this in this booting of this process. So it is a magnetic spin. At some point, it accelerates, then it enters into, let me draw it like this. Where can I draw it like this? I'm not able to do it correctly. It starts with a magnetic spin. I'm going to show you a picture of it. Sorry, this is wrong. Then it comes, so this is polarity. Then it becomes a nuclear magnetic pull where it draws in all the particles. And now you have to see it like the tree of life and the tree of knowledge. So it is a torus, a spiral. And then we can enter to the tree of life. This getting off the ground in the polarities, this is what needs to be the electricity for that, the power of that. In the first years, it needs to be given by the polarity, by the father and the mother. At the same time, my dear husbands, my dear fathers, you have a really important job to do here. I'm asking you, step out of the world of your mobile phones, of the media, of that what your heart and your mind is glued upon, and become giving. We have changed the game matrix from the game mechanics. I'll take, and in the turn taking, it might be that I tolerate that sometimes you take a turn, but you have to ask for it because I will know. And we change it into the new matrix, and that is I'll give. And then I will step away so that the turn taking can occur, and I let you give. I let you add your code, your load. The process that we are entering right now as a human family is that this process is being, this sequence is being executed, or that is being initiated. It started. So right now, in a esoterically nuclear, magical, miraculous way, this code is entering the matrix. It is like a positive virus, as in we are connected because we are living so many lives with everybody through our DNA. All our DNA has gone through all other DNA, through kissing, through lovemaking, through cleaning poo, through you name it, through the really raw thing of matter, with bodily fluids, delicious bodily fluids. We have made love, we have exchanged our bodily fluids with everybody. So the code of the whole human family is inside of you. The next game that we are gaming right now is game level 2, and that is the end game of the harvest. We are going to let you choose in which game map you will find the most joy for your being, and that's, you can find it in your heart. So whether you want to step into it or step out of it. The first game is this, it's the game of I'll take. So listen, if you become really happy and you have this, how's it called, insatiable longing to take what you need in order to be happy, then you choose to go to the polarity of the service to self. If your heart resonates with the game level where you find your joy in being on the giving part and receiving the gifts of others, then you can choose to go to the other polarity or to the other option, to the other route, and that is the service to other possibility. There is no right or wrong. It is the true polarity whereby we create life. The revelations of John, where he saw this big apocalyptic war, was misunderstood for a war. It was not a war. It is a choice. And right now there is technology. It's not the technology of a spaceship. It is the technology of soul. I call it frequential technology. That you can choose to stay here on the earth. Because right now the new grid is being created. Or you can step aside. When you step aside and you choose to go to the service to self game map, another soul will walk in or soul braid with you. And if you go to do this choosing process and you are going to fall into your heart, become present in your heart, and you see a different technology, that is true. Because I cannot see all your creative possibilities. Because in the collapsing of the wave function, which is the technology for the quantum mind, you can create your own creation. And I invite you to be really creative with that. Then I will address the ones who are of my lineage or of my game perspective. You are a game maker. I would kindly encourage you and invite you, because after this message I will step down and I will let you take your turn, to add your load, your code, your light code onto this creation. Because we came here to do this. You are extremely well prepared. You are really well equipped. On the other side, so it is not in the dimension of the five senses, but in the other dimensions, you have all the support you need. You use praying technology, and that is, you ask for what you need. And you do it with joy. And please, laugh your ass off while you're doing it. Experiment it and laugh your ass off. If you do not like your choosing, choose a new collapsing of the wave function. And you can create it, you can draw it from the now, from the momentum that we are holding right now as an oh. But in order to become to that point, you need to do some work on your inner polarities. You need to realign, maybe cry, or, how do you call that, when you mourn, and you have to, find your coordinates. Where are you in the process? And the first thing you need to do is to stop and become silent. Because if you make yourself empty, the universe will fill you in. That's the only mechanic where you are allowed to take it. So there was more to this story. I will wish you a really pleasant game. My dear Pope, I would like to give you my forgiveness. And through you, I bless and forgive and thank and love all the males in the world. There was nothing wrong. It was a creation. I was never hurt. I was never exiled. You never left me. Because in the moments that you did it from your best intention. If you would have known more, I know that you would have chosen differently. So I thank you so much for this last cycle that we ended around the winter solstice of 2012 and around the summer solstice of 2018. Do I say it correctly? Yes. The new game was being downloaded. If you want to add something to this story, please. We are starting to unfold the next level of the evolutionary path of human consciousness by entering the realm of the nuclear fusion. Happy gaming.